Hey, yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Knowledge Relationships Talks of Tuesdays. Here it's like, here's the place where you could just become like your toxic self normally.
Damn. You said toxic, huh?
Yeah, man. It's just the home of toxicity, man.
Hell yeah. Turn
Everybody
up.
a little toxic trait every now and then that they need to get out of their chest.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
But nah, man, I saw the title, so man, definitely this one pretty funny, man. I think shout out to Cam, man. Killer Cam.
Yeah.
Did a great interview on this one, man, and I think, man, he might need to get a Pulitzer Prize, man. He was on his journalism shit on this interview.
Yeah, man. I haven't took a look at it, but I still haven't really been following too much on the Diddy and Cassie trial, man. I just been whenever I get the highlights of it, I'll just read upon it. But
yeah, it's a lot of shit. I was trying to follow it at first, but I mean, man, they had so many breakdowns, recaps, witnesses. I lost track after Kid Cudi. I was like, all right, man, this is too much. But I did like this interview because in this video, Cam interviews the guy, the Punisher. He was the paid male prostitute. Because, before, man, I heard a lot of people having the conversations. It's like, was Cassidy a victim? And I think a lot of people were, yeah, that's facts. Comrade said, bro, we still stuck on 50's baby mama. Yeah, she's in this too. We had a conversation about that on Comrade's channel. That's right. So yeah, it's a lot of people, man, that's evolved into this whole, Diddy trial situation. So yeah, the conversation, I'll say, for the past couple weeks was, a lot of people were asking, man, do you think Cassie's a victim? So at first, well, let me ask you, man, real quick. And then, so would you say Cassie's a victim based on kind of what you know from the trial?
I mean, to be honest with you, no one's really a victim, in my opinion. It's like this, although I never condone on the stuff that P. Diddy has done to people, the stuff that was also seen on camera, when he violently attacked her at the hotel room. I definitely don't condone that, but at the same time, you put yourself in these in the industry just for a come up, for fame, for money and all that, and what you was getting yourself into. I don't know, all this is still alleged, as far as the motives, but a lot of people saying that she did a lot of guys dirty too, though, just to make sure that she gets her come up and stay with P. Diddy. So I'm not really for sure if that's true or not.
Yeah. Nah, good point. Because yeah, I think if you put some hands on somebody, you're a victim in that sense. Because like you said, man, I don't believe you should put hands on people. But where I changed my stance, because at first I was like, yeah, she a victim. But when I started listening to some of the trial, because at first I thought Diddy was getting all these dudes and making her go along with the plan, but she was the one seeking out these male prostitutes. So my thing is man, if you go seek out somebody and they name the Punisher, you guilty. You can't be no victim. You ain't get the male prostitute named Passionate, Hung Average. You ain't getting none of them. You got the Punisher. So yeah, you ain't no victim if you go seek out the Punisher. You know goddamn what he was gonna do when he came over.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, she ain't go grab Making Love, Passionate, not Hung like that. She got the Punisher. So yeah, after I heard that, I was like, yeah, nah, we can't do the victim card on her. Ladies, I know y'all come on, man, we got to put logic to it. Y'all ain't gonna go seek out the Punisher. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Conrad says she's on some we got to please Master Diddy.
Yeah, so man, when you hear these details though, it's just God, man, people are some freaky shit. So that the Punisher, he's the guy that they called over on numerous occasions. So he starts breaking down the story, and man, Cam was asking some pretty good questions because, you know, he kind of have that I don't give a damn mentality.
Right.
And he was adding some humor to it. So, man, it was just funny, man. So, yeah, you definitely going to like the interview. But, man, we could go ahead and jump into it.
All right. Yeah, so without further ado, man, let's go ahead and chime into that. I ain't gonna lie, man. He looked like a lighter version of Mike Tyson, just a little bit. Camron says
Punisher look like he's struggling in 2025 and shit.
Yeah, for real. Camron says everyone to Facebook and Twitch, get the likes up. Yes, definitely get the likes up. I know Twitch doesn't really have like a like button, but follow us on Twitch. But most importantly, subscribe to us on YouTube and let's get the likes up on air.
Shout out to Wally. Wally in the building too. Wally said Cassie a victim of being nothing more than a gold digging op. Damn. Shout out to Wally.
Yep. Shout out, salute. So let's go ahead, man. We're gonna just play this off. Starting at 5-minute mark. In all fair use.
In a regular party, Cassie hit me directly, said her name was Janet, and said it was her birthday. So her husband said she could hire a dancer. So I just booked it like a regular party. At the time, it was like $200. I gave her a quote. She said she was going to be there with some friends. They gave me an address and the time to show up. And I'm thinking I'm showing up to do a party, just a regular little striptease for a birthday girl.
But like, that's a great answer. How do they find you? Like, is it ads, internet? Like, how do they even track somebody like you down?
Oh yeah,
that's a good question.
All my marketing and stuff in my business is like SEO, so Google searches. So if you go online in the New York City area and you put in male strippers for hire or whatever, my website's gonna come up. So they just clicked on the website and called the number, and I just happened to pick up the phone. I don't think they were looking for me specifically.
Right.
I just picked up the phone.
But can you hit pause real quick?
Well, let's say the first time.
I think that was a good question that Cam did, man. And I ain't been watching the trial, so I'm pretty sure that they probably asked some of them questions too. Mm-hmm. But it's like, man, you know, it just shows the extent. Because I'm like, how the fuck would you even like look for somebody like that? So I never thought about it. But yeah, it's like they went searching for dick pretty much. So, you know, like he said, Google searches and they just randomly clicked on websites and called. So it's like, man, you know what kind of mindset you got to be in where you're just like, you're actually calling motherfuckers. You're like, hey man, we want to get you to come to this like party and do this. So yeah, no, that's crazy when you think about it. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. You can't really be too much of a victim if you calling people and you like, hey man, come to this location. Even if you're like, man, you're scared to please this person. So I damn sure ain't gonna call nobody. Even if I was in the estate, I'm like, man, I ain't about to call no guy named Punisher. Like, you know what I'm saying? It don't even make sense. Like, man, I'll be more scared of that dude. Like, man, I might be fearful of you, but shit, this dude named Punisher, man, on the back black internet pages. But they call that shit that's like in the dark, you know, the dark web. Like, yeah, I ain't about to call somebody from the dark web named Punisher.
Hey man, unfortunately for him, this was like the unluck of the draw right there for him to be chosen. But again, this is the part where I can't say like Cassie is a victim, particularly in that area, because okay, let's just say for instance, you were so scared, you know, Big Bad Diddy, right? Okay, and you're inviting a male stripper to come into the premises, right? Of course, obviously, you know, Cassie have some type of freedom to get away from Diddy, to call the police, to have some type of protection if she really wanted to. You can't just be like, okay, I'm a victim, but then yet you choose to stay with this person unless the person had no longer had like an incentive to give you. And of course, you know, in this case, Diddy does have the money, which equals up to like the power as well. And within the power, you can also provide a certain lifestyle that you're craving for. So I think what really imprisoned her wasn't the fact of like her relationship with Diddy. It was her relationship that was tied into the lifestyle that Diddy was able to provide.
Yeah, I think she was materialistic.
Oh yeah, big time.
But man, we got to focus on this. Like, think about it, y'all, man. Like, you go on an internet search and you see, like he said, male strippers, his ad, and he probably had his name on there, like the Punisher. So you had enough curiosity to call that number up. on the dark web, like Craigslist type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna get Punisher already on the dark web. Like, man, you got to be not thinking about your like safety and shit. So yeah, as a guy, would it be calling them because she's like a small chick. So that's what I'm saying, man. People are crazy. They not in the right state of mind when they doing half this shit. All right, man, we can jump back in the video. I just thought that's a good question because it's like, how the fuck do you even find somebody like that?
Where do these events usually happen at? Puff's house, Cassie's house, hotel? Like, where did these events happen at?
I was all super high-end hotels.
Gotcha.
So I remember it was the Trump Tower, Essex House, the London Hotel, the Gramercy Hotel. It was another hotel, Central Park West. I don't know. I don't remember the name, but they were all along the lines of super high-end, super suites. One of the suites, man, in the London Hotel, it was so crazy when I got out of it. I Googled it, and the joint was like $30K a night, yo.
Wow.
I never seen nothing like this in my life, man. The hotel room looked like, that scene in the Titanic when they walk in that ballroom and the stairway well comes down?
Right.
Like the hotel room was crazy, man.
How often did they call you or book you?
Like I said in my text, I can't remember the exact amount of time. So I estimated between 8 and 12 times, but it would be like every few months, but it would be a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like I would come Friday night, then they said come back Saturday night, then come back Sunday. And then I might not be called for 3-4 months, and then they just pop up. So at the time, I thought they lived out of town. They would. She would call me from a Cali number, so I assumed they were out of state. And she basically said, "Yo, can I hit you when we're in town?"
Right.
It would
they
be
had them on weekend
multiple
shift.
nights in a row, but months in between.
Right. And if some of these questions that I asked you may seem repeated because you've been asked these same questions, I just want, we have a different audience from with the interviews you've done, and some people may not know in the trial or what's happening. So some of these questions, I don't want to seem like it's redundant if you answered them 100 times this week. So I was reading that in the beginning, you didn't even know.
Hold on, hit the pause button real quick. See what I'm saying? Cam official, man. He got the coffee up there. He drinking a cappuccino. Cam came ready. You saw he made him comfortable. Cam was like, look, man, if these are redundant, you don't have to respond to him. Yeah. He was on that Connie Chung shit. You remember Connie Chung? So Cam got him comfortable. Shout out to Cam, man. I told you, Pulitzer Prize on the way, Cam. Keep it up.
Oh, yeah, definitely, man. Like that's, and honestly, like that's how, like, I say that's interviewing etiquette right there. You wanted to make sure that the person that you're interviewing is in the most best comfortable position, and you want to keep that person coming back for more. So, and the other thing too, you don't want to have like a whole bunch of people with you while you're interviewing that person, because that's going to just like throw off the whole vibe.
Yeah. People start over asking the question. So I like the layout, man. So he actually did a good job, man. That's why I was like, it was funny to see a Cam, but I was like, man, Cam was official in there.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's go.
That it was even Puff was participating. Could you explain your first time going to one of these events?
Yeah, so I really believed they were a married couple. Like when I got there, I didn't recognize Cassie.
Right.
Like I saw her face, she looked familiar, but honestly, when I saw her, I thought she was Megan Good.
Right.
Like if I was gonna pin, I was like, yo, I think this is Megan Good. But then when I looked on the Google, Megan Good was much thicker. So I couldn't really figure it out. So, and then when she said her husband, when Puff walks out to finally, do his voyeur thing and see what's going on.
So hold on real quick. It didn't start with Puff in the room.
Nah, never started with him in the room.
Okay.
It would only be me and her. And she said at some point, her husband's gonna walk in and I'm not supposed to acknowledge him, look at him, act like he's not even in the room.
Right.
Hold on, pause
we'll
real
be
quick.
like on the couch.
I'll be scared to death. Man, even if this was my profession, I'd be like, look, man, I can't do that.
Right.
Could you do that? Like somebody's like, look, man, my husband gonna walk in. I'm like, oh hell no.
Yeah. Like, don't breathe, don't look, don't say hello, just keep doing what you're doing. He's just gonna just watch.
Yeah, I could imagine, man. That's too many instructions. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, don't look at him, don't stare him in the eyes. I'm like, man, who's this motherfucker? Kaiser Sose from The Usual Suspects? Like, nah, I'm getting up out of here. I'm sorry. Like, here's your money back. Right. Yeah, I couldn't do that voyeur type stuff. I don't see how people do it, man. That's just too weird. Somebody just roaming around the room, chilling and shit. But my bad. I just wanted to ask you real quick.
Yeah. What was the question you were gonna ask?
Oh no, that's it. I just wanted to ask you that, like, if that voyeur stuff.
Oh, my bad. Okay.
Nice. Let's say on one end of the room, and then like on the far end of the room, it'll be like a table with a chair, and eventually he'll come in the room and like sit in the area across the room, like watching, and we're supposed to act like he's not there.
How often? Pardon me, not how often. How long did it take until you realized that it was Diddy?
Bro, like, I want to say like over a year.
Get the fuck out of here. A whole year? Why? So let me, how long, okay, let's, I want to stick to that for a second, but how long did you know till it was Cassie?
So the minute I found out it was Diddy, that's when I knew it was Cassie.
So it took a year for you to find out for Cassie as well?
Yeah, yo,
okay.
I didn't recognize it. Like when I jumped out of it, I did try to do the Google searches. Like I wanted to try to figure out who it was, right. But I'm Googling a married couple.
Right.
So every result I'm getting is not leading me to the right places because they're not married.
Got you.
So then, and I never found out with a visual cue. It was a hotel, the ex's house, and I would get there, let's say 2 a.m, and sometimes nothing would pop off for hours. So in this case, they threw me in like an extra room in the suite. Mm-hmm. And just to kill time, I happened to cut on the TV, and the TV had a welcome message. So the TV said, ex's house would like to welcome Mr. Sean Combs. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, I had no idea, man.
So that's how you found out that it was Cassie and Diddy by just cutting on the TV and seeing the introduction on the television. Wow.
On the TV.
Wow. I seen also in the transcripts that you would say that it was just a sex scene in the beginning. Nothing, no intercourse. How long until you had actual intercourse? What was happening in the first few sessions when it wasn't any intercourse?
Nah, it was only the first session where it wasn't intercourse.
Okay, so
he cleared that shit
10
up quick.
times, one time it was only not intercourse the first time.
And it was offered, but I was so bugged out. Like this wasn't my hustle, right? So right. I'm really in there thinking this is a married couple and they want to do some voyeur sexy scene. Mm-hmm. So we did the set up on the couches, the baby all rubbed down or whatever. And then at some point, Puff jumped up. I didn't know it was him. He left the room. She left the room to talk to him. And she came back like, yo, that was perfect. We happy, we good. Mm-hmm. And then she said to me, yo, do you want to finish? Meaning, I guess, do I want to bust a nut out? You know what I'm saying? Right. And my first example, I'm trying to be professional. Like, I'm like, nah, I'm good. Like, if y'all good, I'm good. This ain't about me. And I just left, but she did say, all right, well, when we get back in town, we want to hit you again. Is it okay? I'm like, yeah, I just got $2K to rub down like a super bad chick. So of course I'm down if you want to hit me back. But it was offered to me the first time, and I actually turned it down, trying to be on some.
Hit pause real quick.
Was baby oil mandatory?
Oh, hold on. Go back. Go back a couple seconds. I didn't even catch that one. Replay that little segment again. What my bad?
Hey, that was a good one. Hold on.
Turned it down, trying to be on some professional.
Right. Was baby oil mandatory?
Hey, he said mandatory like it was like a uniform and shit. Like it was.
It was one of the prerequisites.
Hey, he said Diddy had that shit out like, hey, rub that shit on, goddamn it. This is part of the scene. You want to get paid, motherfucker. You better lube up.
It's a lube, man. You know, the fact that Cam was able to say that with a serious and straight face without even like laughing, because I would have busted out and started laughing.
Yeah, man. I don't know how he kept his composure, man, because he'd say some ad libs too, man. Watch, it is hilarious. I would have had to leave the room. Cause yeah, if I would have been in there, man, I would be like, look, Cam, I got to roll out, man. I'm sorry. But that I would have died laughing and came back. But my man said it's oil mandatory.
We could get to that commercial break though. But yeah, that was the highlight of that part. Okay, but yeah, I know we paused it before.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna ask because I lost my train of thought when I heard that it was oil mandatory. I was gonna say, you think he's capping like he actually turned down Cassie on the first date? Or you think he was trying to hold on to the professionalism?
You know, I think he was trying to hold on to the professionalism only because he was already spooked by like, you know, this mysterious husband that will look at him, but he can't look, he can't, you know, breathe or whatever. I'm not gonna lie, I would be kind of nervous a little bit.
Okay, I got you. Yeah. So he was like, let me get my 2 G's and dip.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you know, be in the moment, thinking I'm about to have a good time, and the next thing you know, somebody might inject me with something or knock me out, and I'm waking up with something pagan on my ass with baby oil. So I feel him though.
Okay.
Trying to be cautious, that's all.
Yeah, at first I was like, man, he capping, but that makes sense. Okay, I'm with that. Yeah, we can jump back in it.
All right.
Mandatory.
Yeah, he got a baby on. That shit's mandatory. I seen also in the transcripts that you said it was just supposed to be like a sexy scene, meaning that Puff would tell you to move the candles a certain way, or tell her to move the candles a certain way for lighting purposes for his visual. Could you explain that?
Yeah, so like when I first got in there, she made it clear that this was a scene we were setting up for her husband.
Okay.
So, you know, it was like couches, all the furniture in the suite was covered in sheets. Like everything was covered in sheets. So it was like a single chair across from like a big sofa. And we were supposed to sit on there and kind of, I'm supposed to put oil on myself. She's supposed to do the same. And then at some point we're rubbing on each other and we doing little like masturbating. I'm masturbating, she's masturbating, but you could tell it was an act.
Right.
Like we're like in character, like one of them corny Cinemax movies. You know what I'm saying? Like the sex scene in them little Cinemax movies. So we're trying to make it look.
You hit him with a banner. That's what
like
I'm talking
the
about.
part, you know, and then he would give subtle cues because he's across the room and the room's dark, everything's candle lit, and he'll say like, yo, move a little bit, yo, move the candle, I can't really see, or move the body. And he would never talk to me, not one word to me, only to her. And if it's instructions for me, it goes to her and she tells me. So it was like a real scripted kind of routine, and it really went like that every single time.
So he was basically orchestrating a sex scene without directly talking to you, but telling her certain things.
Exactly.
Wow. Crazy. I seen also in the transcript, or I actually heard you talk about this, that Puff will have the Muslim mask on and be naked from the neck down. What was that like? Pause.
Bro, that was like the weirdest shit ever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's already weird knowing like a dude's coming in the room, you know? But, you know, I'm messing with the chick, and mind you, I'm seeing all this peripheral.
Right.
So it's extra crazy because it's not straight on. So it's at the corner of my eye. I'm like, yo, this dude got on like a veil, and he's half the time he's beating off and he's walking side to side. So it was
I had to pause it real quick. I know he could have held it too long. This is where Cam loses it.
That's what, man.
Oh God.
The more I was like listening to some of these like not confessions, but their testimonies and shit. I'm like, you know, Puff was a weird dude, man. So it's like, man, I just know too many like females that ain't tolerating none of this shit. They out. You know, they see some of this, man. You know, so yeah, Puff a weird dude. But shout out to the Punisher. Ain't no way in hell like I would quit. My man came out there with the veil on, butt naked. I'd be like, all right, man, I can't do this. Right. I gotta get my life together. I would have went to the church like Mace. Like, look, I got to do some soul searching. This shit I'm intertwined with for $1. Yeah, I would have went right to Bible study. But like, look, Lord, I need to confess my sins and get my life together.
Be a full-fledged deacon, man.
Yeah, ain't no way in hell somebody come out with a veil butt naked, dog. I'm out. I'm like, hey, man, look, I apologize. Here's your money back. Yeah, I'm rolling out. How would you handle that situation? The dude come out like, yeah, I would have went and been an AC mechanic or something.
Yeah, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. Like this, I like to be like kind of like proactive, but let's just say, man, like in a reactive stance, right? I ain't gonna lie, man. Like I would be nervous as hell, first of all, because I'm like, damn, bro, like, you know, like what the fuck is about to like go down or whatever, right? And I ain't trying to, you know, get involved with that portion of that, you know, curricular activity. Pause, yes, definitely pause, triple pause, grape pill. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, like I would just be like, look, man, hey, you can have your money back. This is beyond my pay grade. You feel me? So I ain't about to just like, you know, allow myself to get Diddy.
Well, because my thing is like, man, in the room, like, I don't want my back to you. So I'll be like, man, we got to reconfigure this room where I can see you in my, because, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, I be having like one of those mirrors in prison. I'll be like, man, where's this motherfucker at? Like, he disappeared. I'm going. Because it seemed like, you know, like the way he had a position is like, man, he's standing behind him and stuff. I'd be too scared. He could come and like touch me on the shoulder or something. Like, yeah, nah. I'd be like, look, you gotta sit over here at an angle, cat, where you can't sit by the exit. I might need to run out this motherfucker. Yeah, right. I have a whole escape plan. If I was the Punisher, I'd be like, yeah, I don't know about this. You gotta get in this corner over here.
I mean, now in a proactive stance, right? This is probably like where it's like, okay, you're gonna probably have to spend a little bit more, man. You know, have like a second guy with you that's loaded. Pause. Not that type of loaded grape pill, but you know, someone that's strapped. Damn, another pause. But you know what I mean? Somebody that's going.
Yeah, get back to the video. Let's see what Cam about to say.
What did he say? He says booty cheeks pressed to the wall just cause. All right.
It was definitely a difficult space to try to be in. But I ain't no front, bro. At the time, I'm greedy. I want this bread. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at the scenario, and I'm trying to make it work. But it was tough, man. It was tough.
It was just a veil. Somebody told me he had a Yankee fitted over the veil, everything. So everything was just covering the face. Super duper pause and naked from the neck down every single time.
Every single time, man. So that's a little construed, right? It was a veil, just period, like the ones the Muslim women wear, so you don't see anything but the eyes. But I think at some point after like the year and change, and it was a while, he wore the veil for a minute.
Right.
I think they might have figured out. I saw the TV, and at some point he just changed to a Yankee fitted. So at some point he dropped the veil, and I guess he knew. Maybe he saw the TV on. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like. I probably left it, and I guess he figured out, homie figured it out. So he stopped wearing the veil.
He said Diddy got comfortable.
Right. Mm-hmm. I also seen that you say when you and her were doing what you guys were doing, he would be pacing back and forth with a bottle of Astroglide?
Yeah, man. Every time.
A bottle of what?
Astroglide. It's kind of like KY jelly type shit.
Oh Lord.
No, it was obviously something he was into in terms of visually watching this. So
what was being done with the Astroglide though? Paul.
I guess he's using it as lubricant to beat off. You know what I'm saying? That was, he's pleasuring himself during the action. So I'm obviously he's using that for lube.
Do you consider Puff a cuckold?
Yeah, I mean the whole time that's what I thought it was.
Right.
Yeah, I thought it was.
It's because you keep using the word voyeur. This is cuckold activity.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, we're gonna step it up to cuckold.
Hey, hit pause.
So I'm saying voyeur because that's.
Is this a cuckold or voyeur activity? M3, what would you classify this as?
You said cuckold and what was the other one?
Voyeur.
So what is, if you could define that for me, voyeur activity?
I guess voyeur is somebody that just watches, peeks on people. But the cuckold is somebody that likes being kind of humiliated or embarrassed by the person that they're with somewhat.
Ah, shit. Damn. And so what was the question you asked me again?
Because Cam was like, hey, he's a cuckold, and because what's his name was like pretty much stating like, hey, he's a voyeur. Cam was like, nah, he's a cuckold. So I was just asking, man, you think he's more on the cuckold side?
Damn, I mean, to be honest with you, like I think he's more like on the other side, the voyeur side, I guess. Like, I mean, I don't really know because this is like some weird like stuff that I can't really give it an answer for.
Yeah, I'll say cuckold. I agree with Cam because it does seem like he likes to be humiliated, man. Like, he had the veil on and all that weird stuff. So yeah, it seemed like, yeah, he started off voyeur, but he's branching into the cuckold territory. So yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we get back to it.
Wait, Wally says, though, cuckold is the lame that watched the whole thing without doing anything. Oh, okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and just go ahead and play it.
That's what she said to me.
Right.
Like when I came in.
You know why? Because they down. You know why? Because voyeur don't seem as bad as cuckold. So they downplay it with the I'm just a voyeur. Nah, you was an official cuckold, nigga. Because voyeur can mean you watching anybody, not your girl. Cuckold is when your girl is in play. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he's sound cuckoldish, man. Did Puff ever participate?
Nah, man. Nah, he stayed across the room. Like I said in my testimony, the closest he got to actual action, like it was one time, all this stuff, almost every session happened in the living room, but it was one specific one where we got moved to the bedroom, me and her. Mm-hmm. So in the bedroom, he's in a closer proximity because he's walking around the bed. And at some point, like almost at like the strip club, he took like a stack of hundreds and just threw it on the bed while we was when me and her was having sex, and we both was like what's going on? And he just was like, nah, I'm enjoying this shit. And we just kept doing what we was doing.
Right. So the nigga basically, pardon me, I'm gathering information as we talk. Y'all in the bed, he's circling the room, takes out stack of hundred, just throw it on the bed.
Throw it on the bed.
Wow. It's crazy. Sorry about that. I was just thinking. What was the most money you made doing this with them?
Every single time I came, it was $1,200 to $2,000. But like I said, sometimes I could come 3 days in a row.
Right. So
so it would be $1,200, $2,000, $1,200 for that. You know what I'm saying?
For that session.
3 days. Yeah, exactly.
Got you.
Pause real quick.
Yeah, it will last 2-3 days.
And this was like the early 2000s at the time, right?
I think around that time frame.
Okay. So yeah, so dude was making some good money off of that. Let's just say like if it was like, making like 2,000 like a night, and you doing it for like 3 nights, like from Friday night to like Sunday, yeah, that's pretty much like pretty much $6,000.
I don't know about that shit.
Think it was like a little bit less?
Nah, I mean, there ain't that much money in the world, man. Like, I think for what he been through, man, my man need to get hazard pay. You got some grown ass man walking behind you with a veil on. You need to leave. He should have been like, look, 100,000 for a weekend. He up here getting chump change and shit, getting putting his life at risk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for real though. But yeah, let's go ahead and play it.
Yeah, 2-3 days, but not straight. Like a few hours, I'll go home. You'll come back again. A few hours, I'll go home, come back again. You know,
that nigga's on time. That nigga's on clockwork. That's a wild nigga, man. I also seen that you say Cassie said she felt comfortable with you. Did you take that as she liked you?
Not really. I knew it was clear, man. This was something we were setting up for her dude, right? At the time, I'm thinking her husband, because she said this to me the very first encounter, right? So I didn't think it was a personable, she's into me. But obviously, if this is something that has to be done based on their sexual fetish, well, she's going to do it with somebody that, all right, I'm comfortable with this dude, you know?
Right.
So I always took it as however the vibe was, however things went, it worked for her. So that's why she said, I want to call you back, you know?
Got you. Did Puff ever appear jealous while you guys were having intercourse or participating with each other?
Not at all, man. Not at all. It was like good to go. Like I told you, the focus was making sure he got the right visuals, the lighting was right, put more baby oil on. Like he was into it.
Hey, he emphasizing that baby oil routine, that regimen.
Yeah. So, but you saying he basically never was jealous. Did Cassie ever reach out to you without Puff?
Nah, it was strictly business. And honestly, man, I wasn't even trying to play that, get caught up in some type of fantasy. I know one of the other dudes got caught up in some fantasy of they could be together. I knew what it was, man. Like,
right.
She with a dude in $30,000 a night suites. Like I move, I can pull it off with chicks, but that's a tough act to follow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
Punisher said he ain't messing with the bread.
Man, I was just trying to come through to, come up whatever way I could with that easy money, how I saw it.
Yeah, I ain't knocking you, my nigga. How was that pussy though?
Cam stupid.
I mean, bro, even if it was fire.
Bro, was the pussy good, family? Let's stop with political shit. We was Harlem time, my nigga. You 39th Street on 40th. Was the pussy, how was that pussy, my nigga?
Bro, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I couldn't get there, bro.
Okay.
Like I got a dude pacing back and forth.
Hey, hit pause real quick.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My peripherals.
Cam got a lot of pushback for that question. You think that was a little over the top?
I mean, it was though. You know what I mean? Like you can't expect for him to, let himself down and be hard on him, like especially on the internet. You know what I mean? When you're on the live, man, like you're gonna be political and you're always gonna give like the most like PC version of yourself. So that part I would say like that was like a little over the top.
Yeah, Punisher, he's from Harlem too. So in the beginning of the video, they going, he was right down the block from Cam. I think he was like Sugar Hill area. But yeah, no, I thought it was a funny question. It was definitely over the top, but I thought it was. I like how Punisher handled it. He was like, I ain't about to address all that. So he sidestepped that question. Shout out to Cam though for asking that tough question.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was funny though, like nevertheless.
Yeah, look at Cam cheesing. You can
He's like, was the WAP that good? Hey, some people may never find out. All right, let's go ahead and play it.
My spider senses is wilding. You know what I'm saying? And especially when I found out it was Puff. When I found out it was Puff, it got all the way worse because if you grew up in Harlem, if you grew up in that era, I can't validate it, but everybody knows there's rumors, right? There's rumors that he could be, you know, interested in dudes. So the whole time I'm semi-paranoid. Like I wrote in my book, bro, for real. I got a hearing problem.
Right.
And sometimes when he would give her directions, I would hear like something completely different. Like he'll say, yo, I like the position you in. And I'm like, yo, did he just say I wish I could penetrate him? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm hearing like, yo, hold on, wait, what did he just say? Like
So basically you never could get comfortable because so let's just be clear and get the elephant out of the room for the audience. You're not gay, you're saying?
Absolutely not.
Right. So therefore you're saying that already, just to put everything into perspective, that you're there for this chicken to get this money. You don't know it's Puff this whole time. So you're already thinking like, okay, this nigga's being weird, whoever it is, and I gotta keep an eye out for him because we don't know what type, in case he wanna, if he get mad, if he wanna join, I'm not with none of that. I'm here to bone your bitch like you paid me to do and stay the fuck out of it. But what you're saying is the paranoia intensified once you found out it was Puff and you like, oh, hold on, now this shit done got to 10 because not only am I fucking this nigga girl, but it's Puff. So now you say you hearing shit that you wasn't hearing, and now you can't really enjoy the pussy like you want to enjoy it. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Like I'm not intimately connected. Yeah.
Hold on, man. We gotta pause, man. I gotta.
Hey, Cam did a hell of a breakdown where he was like, look, he painted that picture for him. Because I think Punisher was a little nervous to respond. So he's like, let me paint this for you. But that shit was hilarious.
No, it was though. But imagine though, right? You in a situation and you find out like, okay, this is like Puff, right? And this is the dude that while you're trying to like, you know, like fuck his girl, you may not be able to see like what he's looking like, but you could hear the person pacing around like in circles or like in quarter circles, like, you know, behind you. You don't know what the hell he got. He could have put on like a pistol or whatever. So it's like you're not going to be able to enjoy that full experience because it's not you and that woman alone together where you can have that type of intimacy. This is just paid business, you know? I mean, look, dude probably had to pop in some like Viagra to kind of like get his shit going so he could go in and go out. You know what I mean? But I couldn't do it.
Yeah, no, that's why I said earlier, man, Diddy had him under duress. That's why I was like, man, he charging 2 G's. I would be like, man, I need hazard pay. Like, you up there, like, because I just couldn't see myself doing this. But for people that be doing it, man, like you said, especially when you don't go that route, yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. I could have had my back to nobody like that in no vulnerable state like that. Like, hell nah. So yeah, I can see why he'll be nervous, but shit, the fact that he went like 8 to 12 times, like I said, that first session, I'm like, you know what, man, I gotta make some life choices. I can't do this. I would have ran to the church. Like, let me get my shit together. Yeah, damn.
Everybody, make sure you guys please get the likes up.
Said Diddy had the Yankee cap on with a veil on. Yeah, I would have been out of there. I seen that.
Yeah, for real. All right, let's go ahead and continue.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I don't think I got a real erection the entire time.
Right.
Like I was loading up on any pill, anything that I could take just to get there because I could not connect.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He was on that horny goat weed.
It was official paranoid, bro. Like,
Right.
Because I'm not used to being in that situation. And then it's like homie got on the veil and butt naked. And then like I said, I find out it's Puff. And then it's the rumors. So real talk, I'm like, yo, I don't want this to go left.
Right.
So,
well, listen, man, we gonna get you some pink horsepower because it don't matter what the situation is. That joint work. We gonna, you from the block. We'll send you a case up there. Nah, you already, nigga. That ain't about nothing. Did you go raw ever?
Yo, bro. Yeah, for real, bro. That same day when he threw the stack of hundreds.
Right.
Like we were on the bed and I started out, I'm eating a box, right? And after, you would tell it was like some excitement, some connection. So when I pop up, she's scooting towards me for the penetration, and she kind of looked at him, and he was like, "Yo, go ahead, have a good time." And I was wild reckless. I just
right.
It was what it was.
So it's only one time you went raw. You repeatedly
that was, let's say that was the fourth time, and then it was every time to the last time.
Gotcha.
So let me pause real quick. Drake, yeah, you're right, man. He needed to get a little bit more for hazard pay because now you're going raw on someone that you don't know, and you got to eat the gooch too.
That's what I'm saying, man. This cat was rolling the dice. He ain't give a fuck. With a grown ass man in a ski mask behind you. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, Punisher. He kind of reckless with it. Yeah.
Fourth time, then every time.
Cause think about it, like she in a relationship. Like you don't dive in head first. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, nah. For 2 G's, like that's what I'm saying, man. If you go on that route, like just gambling with your life, you better Vegas style. Like y'all gotta up the ante. Like I need 200,000. Cause like I know y'all names now. Y'all both like celebrities. I'll do a tell-all book at this point. Like y'all gotta pay up.
Yeah, this was a good one though. I'll say that. I guess, but no, man, that's yeah.
Gotta go raw sometime. Gotta go raw and Cassie and be like that, my nigga. Some of my co-hosts, they got a couple questions for you, but I got one more question before they ask you a couple questions. We hear about 50's baby mom Daphne being involved in some of these things. Did you ever fuck Daphne, 50 Cent's baby mother?
Nah, every time I was called or involved in any way, it was only Cassie specifically.
All right, cool, man. Hey, yo, my man Larry, Sheree, you got a question for him? We get ready to wrap this up. Sheree, you've been great, man, and thank you for participating. A couple more questions before we get you out of here. And also, we want to talk about your book before you go as well.
I appreciate it.
Yo, what's good, fam? So my question is, you said on the first night, that she asked you if you wanted to continue, and you said no. So I'm asking is, she wanted to continue. Was Puff there? So basically, I'm saying, did she want to do it without Puff?
So when she came back in the room and asked me, her actual words was, "Do you want to finish?" Right? So I found out later, finish meant me busting a nut.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
So she offered, but like I said, I just turned it down. And if I'm keeping it 100, part of the reason why I turned it down is because I was struggling to get my joint up and hold an erection anyway, because homie got on the veil. I don't know who it is. He's pacing back and forth. So I couldn't get in that zone anyway. So I turned it down. Obviously I'm trying to be professional or whatever.
Puff was on that weirdo shit.
I don't think I could have finished if I wanted to.
But he wasn't in the room with you anymore.
He wasn't, but what I would assume what would have happened was she would have said, "Do I want to?" And if I would have started, he would have walked back in.
All right, then I got 2 more. So the other one was when he threw it.
Hey, yeah, he probably would have ran out in that room, back in that room, like, "Okay, my turn, daddy."
Start pouring like that baby oil on him, man. That's what I'm saying, man. Punisher was playing a risky game in there.
Yeah.
put a stack of money on you, were you able to keep that money? Was that the most money that he threw on you? Was that like, well, you said it was a stack of hundreds, like how like you said earlier, 1,200 to 2,000. Was it more than that, or was that the 1,200 to 2,000? Because when I think of a stack, I think of like 5,000, 10,000.
Nah, it wasn't a stack. It was, I believe it was 2,000. And honestly, I thought that was a day I was going to really make a lot of bread, because the 2,000 got thrown on the bed, was put to the side. As soon as we finished, it was handed to me. So I was hoping then she was going to come, because she would come at the end of the night and pay me again, and that'd be an additional money. But that 2,000 ended up just being the money I got. So it wasn't like a super payday of a session. So I just pretty much got my money in advance, you know.
I got you. My last question is,
hit the pause button.
when all
Wait, so that means that you mean like it was like 2,000 for those 3 days, or?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was for the 3 days. So they was treating him like a cheap hoe. That's what I'm saying. Like Punisher was running bad business. That's what I'm saying, man. Yeah, Punisher, he needed management. So they were like, look, three days, like, because he was saying he'll leave, come back. So he was on a clock. That's what I'm saying. Being spooked out, but
that's like. So
that's what I'm saying. He could have just got a regular job, because he eating bad box. you got a grown man behind you. So that's what I'm saying. All this for 2 G's, like, man, you in Harlem, you could have hit the Ave.
Yeah, that's
you would have played with you would have risked your life like that. Yeah, my man, Punisher would kind of, he ain't that bright.
Yeah, that's like somewhere around, like, I would say like 330 or something like that, or 335, like you know, per night. Yeah, he is a
yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. You in there lubing up for a whole weekend. He said Friday through Sunday for 2 G's. So you going raw. You got a dude in a veil and a Yankee hat on, pacing around. Like, that's why I said, man, you need a life change. After that first day, you should have been like, you know what, man, I gotta get my shit together.
Yeah, he was making 77 hours.
Understand that's weekend shift. Did you calculate weekend and night differential? That's what I'm saying, man. He was there to like the whole days. In the rest, that's what I'm saying. You had to factor in hazard pay. My man said, I ain't put on this much baby oil in my life. In there glistening.
He wasn't like the type of guy that wrote a contract that was like, hey man, like these are my rates. How much you're paying me? Like, it was just like he was just kind of hoping, like, oh, okay, cool, 2,000. That boy assumed like it was like 2,000 a night. I thought it was like 2,000 a night. God damn.
Yeah, that's how he took some shorts. I'm like, I done seen y'all face now. I know y'all don't want this to come out. Right. So yeah, because you know Cassie, she, you know, they were giving her the good girl image too. So man, I'd be like, y'all better throw some more stacks. What y'all? What's this 2,000?
Yeah,
I would have messed around how the album coming out. Punisher should have seen Punisher. I would have been like, look, y'all write me some songs. God damn it.
Right. I think I probably would have tore her ass up or whatever. To be honest with you, I'm like, damn, like finding out like you paying me like that, I'm stuck with 3 days. Yeah, I'll take it, you know, but damn. But after that, man, I'm like, look, man, hey, my rates went up. You want to pay me like at least like 20,000, you know, or something. I ain't going on there like no cheap hoe now.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, look, 100 G's, and I got a whole album coming out. God damn it, have Loon write my shit. I would have probably flopped, but goddamn it, I would have had a CD that came out. They'd be like, who's this new artist that Diddy got? Like, oh, don't worry, man, he from Harlem. Yeah, I would have ran with that whole deal.
Hell yeah. Let's see what else he has to say.
Well, this kind of came about, you know, there's this history now of Puff being really violent. Were you scared to testify? Are you scared of retribution? Are you like was that an issue for you to go testify?
Yeah, I mean, it's something you have to consider, right? But look, what I understand is the details of what went on. Obviously, they're going to be embarrassing. You know what I'm saying? In terms of what happened in those encounters, and I got to testify to what happened. But the truth of the matter is, I don't feel like I was biased or let's say, threw him under the bus, right? None of my testimony is saying she was abused, there was aggression, there was it was not consented. You know what I'm saying? She was under the influence of the drugs, because that's just not true, right? Like everything seemed in the right mind, everybody seemed cool, all my communications and everything with her was on point. So honestly, I thought me testifying my actual facts actually probably benefited to the defense. To this day, I'm still not exactly sure why the prosecution wanted me to testify. So I felt like as long as I go up there and say exactly what happened, again, there's going to be an embarrassing element to it. But I don't think I don't think my testimony seemed biased, as if I was trying to do anything other than telling the truth. You know what I'm saying? Not like framing things, you know what I'm saying, to go out of my way to put them in a bad light or put anybody in a light other than what the facts were.
Cool. And my other co-host, PT, got a couple questions?
Yeah, what's going on, family?
Oh, you hit pause real quick?
The question I wanted to ask you was,
and that's what kind of stood out, because like I said, man, I stopped following the whole trial because it was just too much. But just looking at this interview, he does seem pretty genuine, because like I said, he wasn't going too far on either side. He was just like, hey, man, like, he did paint that picture. Here's what happened. And it's believable because, he's kind of dumb. Like I said, like he definitely took some losses in this one. So that I think he probably did help Diddy out in that case, because it doesn't seem like she was under duress when she was like calling him up, and it sounded like she was pretty much initiating a lot of it. They, like he said, they look like a couple. So I wonder how he's gonna kind of play into the trial and stuff.
Right.
But we could end it soon after this one, because that's pretty much a just.
Oh yeah. So you want me to play?
Yeah, we'll just listen a little bit more, see what he says. But yeah, we could.
Okay, sure.
Was when she first told you, in your first encounter, when she hit you and she told you it was for her husband, as you progressed and kept going with her after these dates, at any point did you think she enjoyed it as well as Puff, or more than Puff?
So there was only one time where I can, I testified it to it also, where it was clear to me that I thought she enjoyed it, and that was the first time we went Raw and he threw the money and stuff like that. Because, you obviously, we fellas, we mess with chicks, the mannerisms when it's a connection and when it's not, right? So, but I could say that's the only time it was overtly, I thought, and this is my perspective, that she was enjoying it. The other times, it was clear it was acting. We were putting on a show. Not that she was against it, but I'm not gonna go on no ego trip like, oh, she was loving it, she was loving me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get those vibes. We were putting on a show.
All right, second question. When he gave y'all the permission to go Raw the first time, right? Because you said it continued after that. Once you started going Raw repetitively, did he give you instructions where you had to nut at, or you came in her?
Yeah, so I didn't get the instructions from him, but it was instructions from her, specifically. Every time I nutted, I had to nut in or around the outside of her box. So on her clit, on the lips, everything, and to that degree on the outside of her vagina. And that was clockwork. It had to be done like that every single time. And actually, it was kind of mandatory. The session could not be over unless I nutted, and I had to nut on the outside of her vagina.
You couldn't leave until that happened?
Yeah, that was mandatory. It was
so
that gotta happen for the session to be over.
And those instructions that she gave you, they came from him, or they was from both of them, or just her?
I mean, like I said, I only ever spoke to her, so instructions came from her.
Okay.
Good.
All right, man. We could end it right there.
Right, man. So before we get you out of here, tell us a little bit about your book.
All right, for sure, man. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up on this point.
But yeah, that's shit. Diddy had a whole chain of custody. He was like, look, he was like, look, everything I go through Cassidy and stuff. So yeah, man, it's a weird case, man, because like I said, definitely don't think you should put hands on nobody. So, you know, in that sense, she is a victim in that case. But yeah, just like I said, go along with like calling male prostitutes and stuff. That's where it's like you lose me with that, because I don't know no females, even if they're scared, that's gonna be seeking out people to like name Punisher. You know what I'm saying? So I just I don't see that aspect. So I do think she's complicit in that sense.
Yeah, man. I think I mean, honestly, man, like it's a sad case, man, and a weird one indeed. Like again, and I agree with you. Like no one should be fighting or hitting no one. But apart from that portion of it, I mean, as far as like what Cassie was doing, she's definitely with no victim in that. You know,
you imagine? Like I just thought about it right now when you was talking. The husband, Cassie's husband, he's got to hear all this shit. So he's in there like showing support, but he's like listening to all these like freak off stories.
Yeah. He's like, damn, what did I get myself into?
I would be like, look, I thought I could troop this, but we gonna go ahead and have to wrap this up right now because I can't do it.
Oh shit. I didn't even really thought about that because here's the thing, Jerk, right? Like, I mean, well, take like your personals out, right? Just do like some type of imagination. If you was married to that particular person, but you spent like at least like a good 15 years with that person, and you already know a little bit about her past, but you didn't know the full in-depth details until like now, like you're on trial with her to support. I mean, how would you personally like handle it?
Oh, I'm shit. We could put my personal in there. Man, I've been with my wife like 20 something years. Shit, if I go in there and she got a whole case that came out and she was with the Punisher and doing freak offs, we done. Like, I don't give a damn like how many years we've been together. Like that shit should have been disclosed. Like I should have had them details up front. I mean, I would have been there. Like, what's her name? Cassie's husband, but yeah. Boy, if I'm sitting there and I'm hearing these stories and people get peed on and nah, dog, I'm like, whoa, I didn't know all this.
Right.
But you said till death do us part. I'm like, yeah, I lied. Like, I'm out of here. Ain't no way in hell. Yeah.
It's like a great brother, man, that usually come over the live streams with us that will always say, a church girl is like her final form of a 304.
Stan said he don't want to find out. He said he gonna be like, what's his name? I don't wanna know.
Me keep it on the low. But yeah,
well, because there was even one part. Because like I said, when we was actually gonna do the recap, I seen the clip where even when she was dating her current husband, she was calling him up and she was actually having intercourse with Diddy. So man, the pride on this dude, he has no dignity. Just like self-esteem's got to be shot. He's got to be in there for the payout, because there's no way in hell, like as a man, you have any like smidgen of like pride where you're just like, well, forgive and forget. We all do our stuff. Like this is some over the top, man. Just don't get me wrong. Everybody has a past, so it's like I definitely understand that, but that much of a past. Like when you was, because this is historical now, like all this stuff that came out, like, and you selected the Punisher, nah, there ain't no looking past that.
Her job was to keep her past hidden.
Nah, facts, yeah, I agree with that. There's no way in hell you was telling somebody like, about all the freak offs, and if they like even stayed with you, there's something wrong with them mentally.
Mm.
Yeah, because it seemed like she cheated on like Cuddy. She went back. She was dating him, the dude Ryan Leslie. So that's what I'm saying. She went back to Diddy on numerous occasions and shit. So
so he says yes during, and I guess I'm assuming this was alleged, but during the marriage she went back to Diddy and then did more of the freak offs.
yeah, so, but I think a lot of this came out in the trial. That's what I'm saying. I don't even think it's allegedly anymore. I think it's more or less like they put out the timeline. So I think in her case, man, I think they probably didn't understand how much detail going to come out. But it's just like, man, when you go through these type of trials, man, they put everything out there. They have to, you know. So there's a lot of people, man. They probably thought like some of this stuff, the information would be shielded. Because like even the Daphne Joy, the 50 Cent's baby mom, she's trying to file like a lawsuit, but she got caught up in this because, you know, the court's like, all right, well, shit, y'all done filed and said all this happened. Y'all part of this criminal trial now. Oh, so I was like, man, they out here getting embarrassed now. But this is why, man, like I say all the time, man, don't move off of desire. This shit ain't working out. You see what's happening to Diddy and all these people that do all this over the top stuff. It's like, man, not only do you embarrass yourself, man, you like Diddy, he's losing money. So guys, man, this is don't maneuver like this.
Yeah, this type of stuff comes at a price, and if you're not,
it does, man. Yeah, because I mean, even just think like Cassie, man, like. Because the husband could eventually leave. He might be like, let me just finish this trial. Let me I'm going to get my payout and I'm going to dip on her. Yeah. Then like Daphne, you know, these people got kids. So it's just like, man, this information is going to come out and the kids got to kind of see this trial. Because like Diddy, he got his sons and man, they're seeing some of these details. You know, they got to be embarrassed. Then, you know, like the females, they got kids too. So the kids be like, damn, my mom was at a freak off. You know, so they might get teased in school because of what's playing out. So that's what I'm saying, man. Like, if you do all this over the top shit, don't have no kids, man. Spare them the like embarrassment of your actions.
Yeah, but you know, people are going to be selfish, so that's the
definitely
of it. And by the end of the day, none of them even give a damn about the kids. Like, you know, what they go through growing up. The kid's going to be the one that's going to have like the most like that's going to need the most like therapy at the long run.
Because man, just think how like you know, because like even with YouTube, everybody's covering the Diddy trial. So it's just like, man, you got the news channels now. So before, you know, we just had the regular like news cycle. This would play out and be gone. But man, this is on internet where their kids are gonna be. So it's just like, man, their kids can't like escape this shit. You know, Diddy even became like a part of like regular slang and hip hop culture instead of saying it's like no Diddy. So this stuff is this is a big trial, man. So yeah, all of them gonna sit there. They're gonna get some egg in their face, man. Really.
Yeah, for real, man. So. But, all right, everybody, man. Thank you for tuning to Knowledge Relationships, Talks at Tuesdays. Again, you know, we just provide you with some toxicity, man, with the Diddy and Cassie trial. So definitely make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share the videos, man. Stan says, no after party reference on BET Awards last night.
Yeah, they said, look, close this shit down. Everybody go home. They're like, you better set up your own parties. They like, we want no association to any parties. I feel them. They playing it safe. They're like, look, you come here for the event, get your trophy, get the fuck out. But shout out to Cam, though, man. I thought it was a funny interview, man. I thought it was different. I definitely think, man, they need to do more interviews.
Yeah. But all right, you guys, man. So,
all right, y'all. Take it easy. Peace.
knowledge and relationships,